Deep in the Caribou Mountains of British Columbia lies one of the most iconic heli-ski resorts in the world, Mike Wiegele's. It's a place the Warren Miller crew has returned to time and again for some of the most reliable conditions and epic big mountain riding. This year, the crew is joined by Pete McAfee and Dom Davila, both right leg amputees who, despite very different journeys, are redefining what it means to be an adaptive athlete in snow sports. This trip, they'll be getting their very first taste of heli skiing, and Warren Miller was there to capture it all.
Ooh, that's pretty cold.
That's good. That came out with a big ice chunk on it. That was perfect.
15 years ago, I'd never skied before.
Coming from where I grew up, getting injured, being able to have this opportunity is just, like, it's mind-blowing.
Boom. All right, it's working. Typical morning, getting ready to go out. Dom's alarm goes off. I jump out of bed, and my leg is already in my pants, my snow pants, like standing there. I'm like a fireman. I just jump into my pants, they're on. I throw this on, I like house a bunch of food, and then I sit around and wait for like an hour till everyone's ready to go. So that's typical morning. It's funny because me and Dom actually got offered separate rooms, and we were like, nah, we'll just hang out. We'll share a room. We're good. Seems kind of strange to do that, right? Like, it was actually Dom's idea. I don't know if he just likes me that much, or like...
It was Pete's idea to sleep in the same bed.
No, that's not true.
Me and Dom clicked right away, which is hilarious because we're pretty opposite in a lot of ways, other than being right leg amputees. Dom is loud. He's always just cracking me up.
Most fun I've had with my clothes on in a while.
These guys were great characters. I absolutely loved both of them. Dom was just a funny guy, awesome voice. I even said, like, if this guy just read the phone book, I would laugh. There's Dom's laugh. You can't miss Dom's laugh.
I was getting a little chilly. Pete is on a different level. I'm here with one of the raddest athletes that I know. I mean, that dude has pushed me harder than any other adaptive athlete that I've, met in my life. So, yeah, I couldn't have, wanted to do this with any other person, I feel.
It's nuts.
Thanks. I had a great childhood. I grew up in West Texas, in kind of the middle of nowhere. My dad would take me and my brothers out on some death hikes in Big Bend and in the Guadalupes. That was kind of my intro into the outdoors, and I had a birth defect, and I walked on like a custom orthotic. I was pretty young when they amputated, but for me, really, it was pretty easy as a kid. You just roll with it and adapt. I didn't know that there was adaptive skiing or any kind of specialized equipment. I started skiing the 2010-2011 season and just threw 2 skis on with a prosthetic and normal ski poles and started skiing that way. I thought I was doing okay with it until I had like a high-speed wipeout and ended up breaking my leg. The prosthetic just kind of snapped my leg right where it goes into the prosthetic, and bone stuck through the skin, and kind of figured out like, hey, I don't have great control of the ski on the prosthetic. Maybe I should try just skiing on one ski. So I kind of, just strapped it up with duct tape and wooden dowels and went out with one ski and regular ski poles and struggled with that for a little while, and ran into an adaptive 3-tracker, which is super rare. And he basically was like, hey, Dodo, what are you doing? Like, go down there and get these outriggers. And that changed everything.
My greatest accomplishment on skis, I'd like to say it's Denali. That's the largest peak on the North American continent, and being with Vasu and being the first amputees to ski Denali was a pretty huge accomplishment.
Denali is like the pinnacle of like type 2 suffer-fast fun. And heli skiing is like the pinnacle of like type 1 awesome. You're just like giggling.
Man, when I got that call from Pete and he was just like, hey man, you're in, you know, they're all about it. It was like, I don't know.
He was freaking out. He was so excited.
I was like, oh wow, I'm going heli skiing. Being a new dad is one of the coolest experiences I've ever been privileged enough to be a part of. I really want to offer her everything that we do here, and you know, eventually she'll be walking and she'll be on a snowboard. And my mornings, now that I've got the baby, is trying to get up pretty early, get everything ready, maybe take a pup with me out to the mountain. It's a couple minutes from the house, and just kind of get on a bike and do, you know, 5, 6, 7 miles, try and get a good hour and a half ride in before the baby's kind of up and moving and ready for the day, and come back, then I'm back to dad duty. Yeah, we got deployed to Afghanistan July 2nd of 2009. We were meeting up with another section of ours. We came in and set up security on this little like drainage ditch. We ended up running over the same crater we hit the week before, and they had put an IED in there, and I got tossed out of the gun. I just couldn't see anything. I just didn't really understand why. So I immediately went to go stand, and I couldn't, like my legs just weren't working. I like looked down, and my right leg was pretty mangled. It was pretty surreal to think that would ever happen to me at, you know, 21. Went from coming back in the States, having surgery like every other day for about 2 weeks, and then like physical therapy like the day after surgery. It was crazy. And learn how to walk again. I was, you know, I got a prosthetic. It was just kind of like a challenge from there on out, and that I guess I never really stopped trying to achieve after, you know, learning how to walk again and just trying to figure out what I'm capable of still. Snowboarding has been one of the main things that has really gotten me back into sports after getting injured.
It's just amazing to see these guys and their zest for life and zest for adventure, you know, despite what life has thrown at them. And yeah, to put them on snow and watch them go down, and yeah, there's no disability there.
Okay, ready? And you're just walking towards the lodge. You know, when we have the foul weather, we kind of just make up something to do, and this is kind of one of those classic examples. We heard about they cut a hole in the lake, and everyone goes for the cold plunge, and so the boys said they'd give it a go. Magic, perfect. But then we just happened upon one of the staff, Brandon, who's down here building a fire and cutting a hole in the ice. He's a perfect French-Canadian guy, looks like we cast him and dressed him in perfect wardrobe. And
8-footer over here, you can jump in. It's just great. I think we should look at him and then look at each other like.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we stick our toes in. Woo. Okay, good.
All right, you want to
Hang on, stay right where you are for a couple more little cutaways. Wouldn't that be great? Just kind of fun.
Oh man, that looks pretty cold.
It looks really cold.
You kind of add a little creativity to that with the taking the leg off to test the water. Okay, ready guys, drop in there. It's just kind of fun. Good way to kill time on a weather day and be creative and have some laughs. So it's kind of how it always happens. We just sort of make it up on the fly. Filming here for us and for me is very much a rite of passage as a cameraman. I mean, I've been here a dozen and a half times maybe, and each time I feel like I'm walking in the boot steps or ski tracks of Warren and all the guys who did this before I did. That's the camera I started with.
That's wild.
That same camera. It was funny, when I started filming, they'd give you the wooden tripod.
Yeah.
It was like your
Welcome
rite
to
of
the
passage.
industry.
And you see the photographs around the lodge. You see this beautiful sort of sculpture of a helicopter. It's made out of wood. It's painted to look just like the 212 helicopter. And to take that even a little further, there's a cameraman that's carved into it and hangs out the side of it. And that, I like to think that represents all of the cameramen that have ever been here. Warren Miller's been here dozens and dozens of times over the 50 years of Mike Wiegele's. You do feel sort of at home with that, and you know immediately when you get out there why we came here every year that we could, because it's kind of the easiest place in the world to have great success making a ski film.
Three, two, one, dropping.
Interestingly enough, one of my first assignments with Warren Miller was an adaptive shoot in Vail, Colorado. That's been a long time subject of the Warren Miller movies. Warren was very much involved in the adaptive programs. He always saw the importance of sharing that inspiration with our audiences. There's always been some amazing pieces in the film going way back. Being here with Dom and Pete, though, is so refreshing working with them. And for both of them, this is their first experience. So you want it to be spectacular for them. So I don't want to kind of clumsy that up with a lot of filmmaking. And I think the first day was kind of the perfect first day. They were both able to really let it run and experience heli skiing and heli boarding, you know, in its true sense with big 3,000-foot runs.
It's just something like mind-blowing. I'm just like still trying to get over it. And, like, I feel like I'm wrecked from snowboarding, then wrecked from like the adrenaline of seeing everything and doing everything.
I remember loading on the helicopter, taking off, looking out the window, and just thinking like,
All that hard work on Denali, and I could have been doing this. So I didn't even know you could have this much fun. This is insane.
Oh, hello. Yeah, we're just making a plan for the next shot. So we're going to use the drone to film Chris approaching with the helicopter. So we're going to, one event will be him approaching, kind of flying past the blue ice, and we'll be shooting with the drone from a distance. Okay, we're ready with the drone. Ready with the drone, Chris.
Okay, I'll start heading up.
He's going to start quite low.
I think we've all been just like blown away at
athleticism within both Dom and Pete. They're just so strong and so good and motivated too. Like, it's inspiring on like so many levels. So it's been really fun to capture that, share that eventually with the audience. You know, that's what we do.
Don't be shy, come alive. Please don't make me count to 5. I'm gonna make you jump and jive. Now's the time, jump up and come alive.
So, last couple hours we've just been shooting on the glacier and got to ski down through some serac. It was pretty sweet. Never done that before. You won't get that very many times in your life, probably. To get to see that moment on the big screen is gonna be really special to me. Getting to see it with my kids, my wife, getting to relive that moment and go back and rewatch it whenever I want, that's special. I mean, memories fade, but Warren Miller lasts forever, right?
Just like being out there is just like so free, and like it's just like nothing else. You know, I know everybody has their own thing. Like our pilot who's here, like that's his snowboarding, I'm sure, you know, like he loves flying, and it's just kind of like a release.
I love flying in the mountains. I think that's what I was meant to do. It's exhilarating, and you take this camera and do a panoramic view of what we're looking at here. It's nothing but white snow and mountain peaks everywhere you look. It's quite enjoyable. It's inspiring to see these two guys come out here. I mean, you can tell they love being in the mountains and skiing. It's a breath of fresh air, it really is. Just to see what they're doing. I mean, you see a guy, he's skiing on one ski. He skis better on one ski than I do on two.
I don't like doing a lot of little turns. If I have a helicopter taking me up, I'm gonna just point it and let it run.
The dude's trying to get in there and just nuke it. My style's a little more playful, like just like cruising.
They have had the opportunities to find the mountains. And Dom didn't start snowboarding till after he was injured. I think it really allows them to kind of express themselves as athletes.
I think adaptive athletes are just coming into light and realizing what's possible, what they're capable of. And I think it's gonna go crazy here in the next 10 years. People are going to progress really fast. It's hilarious that our personalities are so opposite, we get along so well, and then our riding types are so opposite, but we'll ride each other's terrain and have a blast doing it with each other. It's crazy how well we click.
Whatever labels are given to me or put on me because of, you know, the limb I'm missing, has nothing to do with me, I feel like. You know, it's kind of society's, you know, issue. I'm just out here ripping.
All right. See if that works. See if that throws her off. If you're going a direction they're getting smaller, you're going the right way.
Oh, that's getting bigger. Oh. Yes! That's where they were.
Nice work.
Family's everything to me. I mean, if you don't have family, what do you have? I'm so lucky to have an awesome family. My wife is incredibly supportive of everything I do. Everyone's like, oh my goodness, you got the first like adaptive ski descent of Denali. And I'm like, yeah, but who do you think was holding everything down at home? I mean, Denali's easy compared to running a house by yourself. She's really the one that is the hero.
Here. Okay. Now we're just gonna lift it over.
Oh, wow. Good job!
Katie are the only people in school that have a dad like my dad with one leg and is like super adventurous. I like to brag about him at school. I think the adventures he goes on are super cool because it's like a big opportunity for him to have like so many cool things in life. I always keep these pictures with me to remind me of you.
That's so cool. That's really sweet.
I always keep them in my backpack because it always reminds me of him. I need a picture of Mom.
That, to me, makes me think I'm doing things right. She's aspiring to do great things. She's learning how to push herself. She always says things like, never give up, always keep trying, you're stronger than you think you are. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is sinking in because those are things I tell her.
I'll try it now. 1.
Oh man, it's hard.
And it's just cool seeing the kids push themselves. Future climbing team, like, hey, Denali 2035, like, here we go. Me, Hannah, and Katie, the perfect team. I feel like there's always a silver lining to a disability almost. You can find some advantage to your situation if you look hard enough.
Pete's ski style and everything about the way he flows, there's just an incredible finesse to it. There was something unique and I felt like almost superior to having one ski and the outriggers. I was kind of thinking I might want to try this to just feel that sensation.
There's a saying in the Marine Corps, improvise, adapt, and overcome. That just goes right along with like adaptive athletes or just, you know, anybody in general. You just have to adapt to everyday life, no matter what it is.
I know my injury is why I'm here today, and I love that. You know, there is that ability to live a fulfilled life, you know, and it's just finding what works for you.
Here I am today, and I just feel so grateful to have made it to Canada with Pete to be able to rip some fresh powder.
Honestly, I don't care what you call me, as long as I can go ski and enjoy what I'm doing. But yeah, to be viewed as an athlete, that'd probably be pretty cool too.
There's no limitations set on yourself or your goals. Strive to be a better person and push the limits.